The enemy's plan is to change out our original precept, the original thought that Elohim already had given us. So what we're looking at today is how can we break free from that and move forward with the kingdom concepts. All right, we got our message up. All right, so we are at Empowerment and Faith. We learn about the 6 stages of conformity. The 6 stages of conformity has transformed my mind in the way that I think and the way I look at why the way I think or what I like. Why do I like that? So before we get into the message, we have to look at that concept, the original precept, the design of the master, which is the king, Elohim, how he designed us and what we were purposed to do. Then we can go through slavery and run it through the kingdom concepts, and then we can find the root of it, and maybe we can move forward. So that precept is the original thought that comes from an idea. So the original precept is the original thought from the king, from the father, the original intent, the purpose of it. And so from that, we get our concepts. And then we get our convictions from our concepts. And then we form what we see as a belief system, number 4. What the enemy is trying to do is he's trying to, and Dr. Larry has said this before, he's trying to change our original precept. So in order for someone to get a new precept, a new way of thinking, they have to have another exchange or another thought or another original purpose. All right, so from that you get your ideology. And what we want to really look at is our philosophy, the lifestyle that we live. All right. All right, so we're going to go back all the way to the kingdom first to see how Elohim designed man and what he designed man for. So the original purpose or the precept for the creation of man, we're going to look at that in Genesis 1 and Bereshit 1 and 25 through 28, and we have that up here for you. So I want to ask a question. What was Elohim's purpose for the design of man? So this is something we have to look at when we're dealing with slavery and moving forward as a community now. And then, did Elohim give man the authority to dominate over another person? See, that's where slavery comes in, and this is why it was so devilish, so evil, filled with darkness, because it wasn't of the Father. So if it wasn't from light, it's from darkness. So we're going to look at Bereshit 25. We're going to skip that one and go to the next one. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish, over the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So from there, we can take that right there and build on what we're getting ready to build on tonight, which is Elohim did not give us dominion over another person. So slavery has to be of the enemy. And right now we're looking at it's still systematic racism amongst us now that we have to break. So we're looking at the original purpose of man. And it wasn't for us to dominate over other men, so we can cut that out now. So slavery was a result of man attempting to dominate a particular group of people. All right, so when we look at all the issues in America, every issue that we see, you can trace it back to money. It's always an economic problem. Everything that goes on in the United States is an economic problem. And it's because of greed. And so the kingdom teaches us about greed. It teaches us not to love money. It teaches us that it's the root of all evil. And we're going to look at a few more things about greed. And Luke 12 and 15 and 1 Corinthians 6 and 10. And it teaches us that it's not up. Okay. I don't have it up right now, but it talks about greed. And we'll go there in a second. So we're talking about modern day system of slavery. So before we go into where we're at now and the systems that are in place, we have to look at the real purpose of slavery. This is the wrong format, but I'll work with it. So the real purpose of slavery, it was all economic issue. We just talked about that. Everything they do, every issue that we've had, it's all about greed and money and deceit and lies and trying to change someone else's belief system. And so we're going to look at that. And so billions of dollars of land was given away, and most are still receiving the benefits of it. Okay, so in the Constitution, they had to rewrite it because it said that when a person came over that they were entitled to the pursuit of happiness, but it really said property. So what we're looking at, they didn't come here for the pursuit of happiness. They came here for the land and free labor. That's why they came here. That's why they came here. And people are still benefiting. And that's why I have to talk, because I'm in a unit, in a military unit, and it's dominated with white people. And so we have to talk about these things constantly. And I don't think they understand how slavery damaged the minds of the blacks and how it's still working today. They don't understand that. But we're going to get them some knowledge on tonight. Hopefully they're watching. So we're going to look at some of the things that the enemy tries to do, and that, again, is trying to change our belief system. And so you can see it in the root of all of this was the enemy, because, look, these are three things that the whites told the ministers to focus on. So we know another thing that controls people is religion, and we're looking at that in today's society. And so they told those teachers to teach black slaves that the slave and the master was referring to them. So they twisted the word of Elohim.